Hello, this is Johnny at JSD Arms, and today we will be reloading 7.62 by 54 rimmed cartridge. We will be reloading this cartridge with a 174 grain hollow point Sierra match grade bullet, and we'll be using the PPU brass as well as the Winchester Magnum primer. The powder of choice today is Hogan 4350. We will be loading it with 53 grains. We'll also be using one-shot case lube. Any case lube will do. At first, I used the Lyman case lube, but then I replaced it with this because it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to use. Give it a little shake. Spray at an angle. Actually, I'll bring it up here. Spray at an angle so that way you don't spray it in the actual casing itself. Spray like this. 1 and then 2. Then, once it's lubed, we'll put it and resize it and decap it through the resizing and full length decapping die. Bring the ram all the way up and then screw in the die till it's touching and then back it off a quarter turn. Then snugly tighten the locking nut by hand. Once that is achieved, take your brass, put it in the shell holder. Obviously, we'll replace the shell holder to the correct size rim of the cartridge. Take it, run it up through. It is then properly resized and decapped. We then take the case and we clean the primer pocket, the large primer cleaning end. Put it in there a few times. Blow it out. And normally I would put it through my sonic cleaner I have right here. And I'd also put it in my tumbler. But for instructional purposes only, we are just going to load it as is for today. Now, we get to prime the brass. The Lyman Crusher 2 press has a priming system built in. You can also do it while you are resizing the die, but so that way you can see better, get better instruction, we're just going to prime it firmly. Now that it's firmly primed in there, you see that it is not flush. It is more indented to the cartridge. This is normal. But for today, we're going to use the Hornady lock and load powder dispenser. We're going to first making sure there's no powder in there has fallen in, which there has been. There's been like, I think there's like six little grains in there, so we'll dump it back in and zero it out. Now that's zeroed out, we'll dispense the powder. Today we will be using 53 grains of H4350. I also like to keep powder on the bench as well, so that way you know and don't mix it up if you accidentally leave it in there. Now that we have got the primer in, get the powder measured, we'll then put the powder in the cartridge. Make sure all the powder's in the cartridge and there's no spills. And then set it down in your reloading tray. Once this is done, we will then put the bullet seating die in. I like to put the ram all the way up and then put this. I like to make all my dies touch and then I back them out. This one you don't have to have right up to it, so I back it out 1, 2 rotations, and then I put the locking nut hand tight. Now that is done, take your cartridge with the powder in it, place it on the shell holder, grab your bullet of choice, which we will use in the 174 grain 311 diameter Sierra mash grade bullet today, and lightly till you feel it starts to get a little tension on there, just to seat the bullet so it's in there, so it's really long like that. Here's a quick trick. Take a cartridge you've already reloaded or factory cartridge, put that one in the shell holder instead, bring your handle all the way up, and then twist this down, and that'll be your seating depth. So you then take your cartridge, seat it most of the way down, all the way down, and it should be the same length. Now, what we got to do is we got to measure it. And the max overall length for this cartridge is 3.037, and we are good there with length. This step is optional, but it's highly recommended for accuracy, because when you're reloading a rifle, I'm sure it's for accuracy. So, seat the bullet crimper to the desired grip length, and then run the bullet up through. I like to do a light crimp, barely put any pressure, bring it out. It is then crimped. This video is for instructional purposes only. I take no responsibility in your actions, and by saying that, make sure everything you do is in a safe way. Everybody does things differently, and the suggested loads I got are my loads. I suggest that you load at your loads, which means to your rifle or whatever you may pick. So like I said before, safety's first, and have fun reloading.